What's up, ladies?
Not much.
All right, welcome to Man and the Girl episode 21. I'm a week late on episode 21, but that's all right. My lunchtime chat about anything. 52 episodes. We're almost halfway through there. Good Lord, this is a pain. So today I am pleased to have a bunch of cute little humans in front of me here. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Start with Reese.
I'm Reese.
Last name, maybe?
Manning.
Therefore, you're related to me, right? Yeah, there you go, right? And then Emma, next.
I'm Emma Huckleberry.
Wonderful. Josie.
I'm Josie Gasser.
Nice. Last but definitely not least, Josie Gasser. So, like I said last week, I wanted to have an episode on the last day of school and kind of ask you guys how the year has been. Kind of reflect, right? A year in reflection, because that's basically what we're all doing here. I messed up. I had some just timing issues and couldn't get it done. So I appreciate you guys joining me today to do the same kind of episode. On that note, we always want to end on a positive note. Would you guys agree or disagree?
Agree.
Okay, your last school year. What then? We'll get to the positive note in a second, but your last school year. What is the most interesting thing? And we'll start with you, Reese. What's the most interesting thing you learned about yourself the past school year?
Well, I before COVID, and stuff, I was a lot of an extrovert and I liked people a lot, and I still am. But after COVID hit and stuff, I kind of learned that I actually have a very introvert side, or maybe it was because of that. But I don't know, I just liked being at home more and stuff like that. And I learned that I kind of have a side like that, and I didn't know that I would. But yeah.
So how did you learn that through COVID?
Because we had to quarantine for over a year, and I didn't really see people. I just saw my family, and I lived in my room for a while, and I kind of got used to it. Kind of got used to it really fast, and I just kind of liked being in my room and just liked being at home. But I took me a little while to go back to crazy schedules and stuff.
Sure. So you kind of didn't mind the quarantining, the being at home.
No, I mean at first I did, but then I just kind of got used to it.
Okay, cool. Thanks. How about you, Josie? And I'm glad you picked, before you start, I'm glad you picked You Two Humans.
About myself.
Hold on one second. See, we got a little delay there. See that delay? So give me 1 second, Josie. I'm glad she picked You Two Humans, because You Two Humans were always on her Zoom when I walked in her room. Who are you talking to? Josie and Emma. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm glad they picked you two, because you guys still stayed in touch, but you weren't actually seeing each other a lot, right? So on that note, continue your thought, Josie. I apologize.
Yeah. No, you're good. One thing I learned about myself is that I think it would be just this year we met a lot more people because we were put in groups. So you learned that you kind of were forced to be friends with people because there's just no one really else to talk to. You're either talking to nobody or them. So you kind of just have to be flexible to be friends with that time.
Sure. So you're basically saying you actually met more people than you may have normally met in a normal school setting because you were forced to be in Zooms with them. I think she's delayed again.
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Josie. How about you, Emma?
And someone started mowing their lawn.
Oh, she's got a horrible delay.
So if
Josie, you're crashing out.
I believe the kids would call that cringy, but that's just me. Who knows, right? How about you, Emma? What do you think? What's your thoughts?
I think I definitely learned that I'm a very structured person. I need a plan every day. And kind of just going with the flow. COVID just popping up was hard for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Same with me. I am not not having a schedule.
Yeah, you guys both. But how did you get it? You all got through it though, right? Like you figured it out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I literally at the beginning. I remember at the beginning of COVID, Josie didn't ride a bike, and yet I saw her yesterday riding a bike. So just pedaling down. So obviously some things changed there. So you guys are interesting. Reese obviously has a younger brother. Josie has an older sister. Emma, you have two younger siblings. How do you think? Give me just a round ball. We'll start with you, Emma, on this one, since you got the most family. Just give me what you think your family has been affected. Like how did your siblings and how did it affect your family going through this whole thing?
I think our family is a very sporty family, I guess. So, like, losing their sports was very hard for our whole family.
Sure.
That was an adjustment for us.
Right. How about God, what's your younger sister names? I want to call her Abby. No, yeah, Abby's your mom.
Audrey.
Audrey, thank you. I knew it was an A. Audrey, how did she handle this and go through it? Did she stay active?
I think, well, we have a trampoline, so that was her big thing.
Oh, really?
Trampoline all the time, all day,
Sure.
every day.
Right. And you, Josie, how did Jory do this? So she's driving. I think, did she even stop working in the whole deal, or? We got to get her a connection somehow. This is part of this is making me think, man, maybe she just had you guys all over my house. We could have just did it in our living room. One camera.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries.
Yeah. So Jory, we definitely got a lot closer. There were still some fights, as there will be with anybody, but like work and dance. But now she still works late, but like we see each other way more and got closer, I feel like.
Nice. You, Reese? You little knuckle with your brother. I'm gonna bite my lip, by the way.
My family kind of spent a lot of time together, and it kind of like, I don't know. My brother, he adjusted too well. He's a big introvert. He doesn't like to do stuff that much. So I don't think we really like much changed for him because I don't think he really likes to do stuff anyways. But I know like we do fight less now, I think. It's just because we don't really have anything to fight about. Like we just kind of talk, and we started watching shows together, and we like started hanging out more because there's literally no one else to do stuff with because you weren't allowed to. So like I was kind of actually glad that I had a sibling during it because that would have like sucked to have been like an only child during all of that. I just think it would have been like really like hard.
Sure. Yeah, he did his thing. I think he grew too, though, when you say a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes Josie.
Oh gosh, Josie. Where did she go?
I can't wait to make fun of the epic IT person's daughter who couldn't figure out the. No, I think Miles grew a little bit too, right? I mean, I think all of you did. He had to get uncomfortable. So all of you kind of described it. You were uncomfortable. And that's life, right? That's kind of where I was going to go with this. Sometimes in life, you just got to get uncomfortable. Whether you want to do it or not, you got to get uncomfortable. COVID made us all uncomfortable, and we had to find new ways to deal with it, right? So that being said, the next question I had written down, I wanted to ask. Obviously, we were all trying to figure out things. And for 2-3 months, we were all just quarantined, right? All sitting in our house. And then it all started breaking up a little by little. And then eventually all of us had to do something with our families. Like I said, the Huckleberries are a family of 5. The Gossers and Mannings are both families of 4. Eventually, we had to get out of this house. So my question to you all, what was the favorite vacation-y thing you did? Because all those times, I'm assuming they were all with your families, right? But what was the most memorable vacation thing you did during, not even vacation thing, what was the most memorable together thing you did as a family, not in your house during COVID? You can think of the first one, the second one, and give me that. I'm gonna start with you, Josie. I know what I hope you say, but we'll see if you say what I think you're saying. And Josie on the one.
during COVID, or like out of our house?
Yep, the first time you went out, because obviously, right, we were all in quarantine, and that lasted for what, 2, 3 months maybe, and then that
What?
fourth month, everyone got stir crazy. They had to go do something, somewhere, something, and everyone went somewhere safely, but they went somewhere. What was your favorite somewhere with your family during COVID? Crickets?
Okay.
She
Um,
How about you, Emma? Let's just get Josie.
I didn't hear the question. Was it?
Yeah, how about you, Emma?
I remember like
Oh,
right after we kind of got out, we went to the pool a lot as a family.
Oh, yeah.
That was a fun one.
The Mount Horeb one, yeah.
Hmm.
Nice. So that was great. That's a local activity. You guys did it probably often, right? You felt safe doing that. How about you, Reese? What was your favorite?
The first thing I remember was in the summer. I think we literally went boating like almost every single day, because there's nothing else to do. We kind of took advantage of that. We like literally, whether it was us or like with another family, social distance, like we just boated all the time. We had nothing else going on. And I also remember we walked around like the lake by the Capitol. I don't remember what it was called, but we walked around that lake, and Miles was complaining the whole time, of course, but it was fun, and like we kind of got some family time in there, away like out of our house.
Monona Bay. Yeah, we walked on Monona Bay. So if you remember, my favorite part of the Memorial Day, I think Labor Day is the last one, right?
Oh,
My
yeah.
favorite thing we did in COVID was when we went to Phillips. The family that we knew very well. Let's say we're in their bubble, if you will. We went to a cabin, their cabin, in the North Woods, and that was, I thought, a blast. Because we were literally quarantining. We weren't near anyone. We didn't have internet, and we cooked our food and hung out, and we rented a stupid pontoon, which I'd never do, but we rented a pontoon. I dragged you guys around on a 5-person tube, literally all day long. That was one of my favorite Jamie Jams. So, all right, ladies, Josie, you back? Are you on? You got a connection? Probably not. So I'm going to end. We won't take the full 30 minutes that we normally do. I really appreciate you guys' time. Like I said, on a happy note, you always want to end on a happy note, right? Let me know what you think. How do you think you've grown professionally? How do you think you've grown personally from all of this? And what do you look forward to next year? We'll start with you, Reese.
I think. Wait, what was the first part of the question again?
I said I always want to end on a happy note, right? And so as you guys are all going to become 8th graders, I think, yeah, you're all 8th graders, right? Next year,
Yeah.
You're all same birth years. As you guys all become 8th graders, how is this COVID experience? How have you grown from it personally? And then what are you looking forward to next year? That everything should be back to normal. How are you going to take that lesson from the COVID experience and make sure you don't, how do I say this? Make sure you don't have any other regrets as you move into your 8th grade full year. Because you guys are going through something none of us ever went through. Your parents have never missed the entire school year. The whole virtual thing, like what? It's crazy, right? And so basically you had a COVID year, and you're back to normal. Like, what are you going to be happy you have next year? What are you going to be happy that won't take for granted? And what you learned from during COVID is going to help that phase next year.
I mean, I feel like we all changed as a person, like for better or for worse. We all changed, and I think I changed into like a more of like, I don't know. I just don't take any. Oh gosh, Josie left. I don't take anything for granted anymore. And like especially school. Like I was the person that like, I don't know, school's there. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it, and now I love it. Like I enjoy going to school, and I was actually kind of like, not sad, but like I was kind of like oh, like we barely got a year when it finally got out. Like we had like half a year in person, and I really liked it, but I wish we had gotten like the full year, because it was really fun and I liked it way better than being virtual. And I'm just excited for next year because now I've finally gotten my vaccine, and so like there's gonna be more opportunities, and like people are gonna like start like hopefully needing more like babysitting jobs, and just like I don't know, there's gonna be a lot more opportunities now that stuff's starting to open up. It's not all like closed off, I guess, and I feel like a lot of that has to go with like me getting my vaccine, like stuff starting to be like, oh, have you gotten your vaccine? Like I did like an agility camp, and the guy was like, you don't need to wear a mask, but if the person next to you gets COVID, you're out for 7 weeks. But if you got your vaccine, you're fine. So that kind of made me feel like I have a lot of like stuff that's gonna be open to me now because I've gotten my vaccine.
Sure. I appreciate that. Josie, did you hear that question before you as you were?
I did not, but I finally figured out my technology. So there
Your
we
father
go.
will be very proud of you. The question was, how have you grown from the whole COVID experience, going to school in a COVID virtual environment last year? How have you grown from that? And what are you going to take into next year? What are you looking forward to now that you're back full steam?
Definitely have become more responsible, and like you need to like bring masks more, and like you just need to like be prepared, and just a lot of like just being able to like go with whatever's happening, because there were like just a lot of changes this year that we just had to go with, and they were pretty fast. So I think being like flexible and ready for things to change is something that will help me later.
I think that's funny coming from you, because I was telling them earlier when you were having your technical difficulties during COVID, beginning of COVID, you didn't ride a bike. You simply
Yeah.
And I saw you yesterday. You were riding a bike. I'm like, is that Josie? Like,
I distinctly remember, and when I wanted to bike somewhere, you're like, no,
Yep.
let's walk, and I was like, girl, biking is so much faster.
I do. So it's funny. So I love that you're speaking of flexibility. It's coming out of your mouth is quite amazing. So that's awesome. Emma, what do you think?
I think we had a lot more responsibilities with school this time.
And so you like that, or so yeah, you're saying last year you had a lot more responsibilities, so this year you're going to less, or expand on that, please. I'll put you on the spot.
I think this year we had more. There's a lot more new learning, not just school, like technology and.
Right. We all had to learn Zoom, right? So what are you looking forward to getting back to school? Like, what's going to get you excited about walking back down the hill and going to the middle school? And because this is your 8th grade year, guys. This is your last. You only have one 8th grade year. You only have one last year of middle school.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to get y'all excited next year?
Honestly, field trips. I feel like we missed out on those.
Yeah. Yeah, you gonna join ski club again?
There's been a lot of like stuff that just everyone's missed out on that's supposed to just come. Like 6th grade, we get to go to Upland Woods. It's just promised, but then not anymore.
You had a field trip, Emma. You took a field trip with me to Devil's Head. We almost got stuck on the way back. That was a great field trip. Like, so cool, ladies. Thank you. I really appreciate your input. I really appreciate your friendship with my daughter and taking care of her. Really appreciate you coming out on and just giving me your opinions. And I can't wait to see how you guys blossom after next year. We should do this a year from now when you get out of 8th grade and we can have the same
That would actually be really cool.
That would be interesting.
See how much we've changed.
Yeah.
Yep. It's always fun, right? So you guys have a wonderful weekend. That's all we got for a Man and Girl this week, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.